Well, good day to you all. I am here in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. As a racing fan and one who kind of grew up around racing down in Southern California at the Ontario Motor Speedway, where my mom used to work, I am such a huge fan of auto racing, and so visiting the NASCAR Hall of Fame is something I've wanted to do for quite some time. So let's go on inside and see what we can find. All right, once coming inside, you've got a lot to look at. There are actually 4 levels to the hall, and I intend to spend quality time in all of them. But you come in right away and they've got this little display out here along the bottom. They've also got the high octane theater, and then you've got these cars here, some newer ones and classic ones. Oh, I already see one of my favorites, a Richard Petty car there, number 43. Oh, this place is cool. This place is cool. $27 general admission, but you can get some add-ons. And so I'll include the link in the description so you can see what those are. There's several different packages here. One of them including where you can get like simulator pass all day, a lunch, and all that stuff. I just got the basic $27 and just gonna take a look around. When you come in, they give you a card, and then you can personalize your experience and kind of create like a digital scrapbook, which I believe they're gonna send later on because I had to put my email in there. And then they have this big sign up here, and you can choose to have your name and your favorite drivers posted up there for all to see, but you don't have to do that. So for those of you who are a little shy, you don't have to worry about that. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we come along here and recognize some of these cars. All right, this is Austin Cindric's 22 Ford. That's pretty cool. The number 2, but 2022. Well, this is cool. You get a little thing with track facts here. What the track surface is like. Pretty neat. Oh, I like this one back here. Curtis Turner's 1961 Ford. It's Wood Brothers Racing. That is pretty cool. And then here's one of my favorites. I always like the color scheme on Richard Petty's car. This is getting back to my childhood here. Oh, that is cool. NASCAR's king, Richard Petty's 1972 Dodge. It's a Dodge Charger. Let's get back. We can see a little bit there. There we go. The old Dodge Charger. That is cool. I like the theme here because it's like they're racing on the track and you're standing right beside them. It kind of goes up. You can see the crowd there. Crowd's going wild. Here's Richard Childress's 1976 Chevrolet. I like how these older style cars, they look a little bit more like the cars you'd see kind of on the street. I mean, obviously they're modified, but these days they don't quite look like cars you'd see on the street, if you know what I mean. That is cool. And then here is one that a lot of race fans will recognize. Dale Earnhardt's 1981 Pontiac. That's cool. Seen a lot of highlights with that particular car. The old Pontiac. Now I feel like I'm doing a Cal Worthington commercial. You ever seen those before? Up next, we got Bobby Labante's 1991 Oldsmobile. Right here's Jeff Gordon's 1995 Chevrolet. Yeah, you can see a lot of cool stuff just upon walking in. Here's Darrell Waltrip's 1998 Chevrolet. Now for me, this is not the Darrell Waltrip car I remember. This is, of course, this is his 1998. I was thinking about that number 11 Gatorade sponsored car. That's the one I remember seeing the most when I was a kid. But I know there's others besides that too. That's just the one that sticks out with me. I actually had a Hot Wheels version of that car. All right, Greg Biffle's 2000 Ford. Boy, don't you just love that name? Nothing quite says NASCAR like the name Greg Biffle. But yeah, this is a pretty cool place. They call this part of the exhibit Glory Road. And you can kind of see a panoramic view. That's where you come in over there. And then you're walking right up this walkway here by all these fantastic cars. This is definitely a must stop for any NASCAR fan. All right, here's Jimmy Johnson's 2003 Chevrolet. I remember Jimmy Johnson from those commercials where he's like, boom, confetti. I don't remember what probably Lowe's. That might be it. Might be what I was about to say. I don't remember what those were, but I bet you it was Lowe's. That number will look familiar to many NASCAR fans. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2013 Chevrolet. Here's a Bubba Wallace car, 2014 Toyota. And it's funny, you mostly see Toyotas, Fords, Chevrolets today, I believe. And it's just funny because they used to have like Oldsmobiles and Pontiacs. And by today's standards, you just don't think about those cars as racing cars. But things change. Here's another shot of this level 1 of the museum. The special display they have down there right now. I think that's Kyle Busch's car there. And then this is Josh Berry. Well, I must not be that big a fan. I don't know who that is. Neither do I know LP Dumoulin's, who that Dumoulin is. That's his 2021 Dodge. Maybe that's why they're here at the end. You know, whenever you go to a NASCAR race, or any race for that matter, there's always that one or two guys towards the end of the pack, and they're just running their own race. You gotta love those guys too. They may not get the fame and glory, but you know, they're passionate about the race, folks. Okay, so this is a little thing on track banking. 33-degree banking, extreme banking. And of course, Talladega Superspeedway has this extreme banking. So let's see. At speed, drivers can experience pressure 2 to 3 times the force of gravity each time they turn. You know, that's the thing. You don't really think about how hard it is on the bodies of these NASCAR drivers. You think, oh, they're just driving a car up, you know, in circles, making left turns all day. But it's very, very hard on the body. It's like going on a thrill ride for like 3 or 4 hours. Okay, so then you can walk up here and kind of experience the banking. Wow. It's pretty cool. Good thing they've got these grip strips on here. Yeah, so you can get like a little bit of an experience of what it would be like to be on that banking. Hey, and this is just level 1, folks. Who knows what else we're going to be able to see, what other exciting things we're going to see. Let's continue on, shall we? All right, it looks like they have kind of a, I don't know, activity center for the kids, or is it a daycare? No, don't tell me you can just kind of drop your kid. Oh no, it's not one of those things. They're all wearing the same shirts. It must be kind of like a summer camp thing. I was thinking at first it was like, hey, you know what? You bring the whole family to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, but drop the kids off so you can go enjoy yourselves, you know. And I was kind of chuckling to myself because, you know, it was good for me to kind of go to museums and stuff and hang out there with my parents. And if I started acting up, you know, my dad would lean over and say, now you be quiet and enjoy this place. It got real close to my ear, and then you knew he meant business when he did that. You know, you didn't want to mess around with that. I appreciated that. I'm a better person today because of that. And I'm kind of aging myself. I'm dating myself. Sound like old man. In my day, you know, kids just had to endure it. They didn't like it? Well, too bad. All right. This is the actual Hall of Honor right here. And so this is, you know, this is where the Hall of Famers are, basically. The heart and soul of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Oh, let's go check this out. Oh wait, before we do, just right across from this Hall of Honor is Lightning McQueen. He's there just looking longingly into the Hall of Fame. I think that's where he'd like to be. Well, maybe the Pixar Hall of Fame, buddy, but not this one. All right, let's go in here to the Hall of Honor. All right, so I'll stand here in the middle of the room and pan around. Here in the Hall of Honor.
I think in Carl's case, everybody really respected him. It helped build our team.
That Torino Cobra is cool.
Thought the company was growing, starting with 14, and he wanted to be a team player. He wanted to be the best out of the four. He brought ownership and dedication into that role.
Well, this is pretty cool. You're a NASCAR fan, you are going to enjoy this.
NASCAR's crown jewels, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, and the Southern 500 at Darlington.
So here in the Hall of Honor, they have 3 cars on display. These are the 3 inductees for this year into the Hall of Fame, and that would be Carl Edwards, Ralph Moody, and Ricky Rudd. There's another good Southern name, NASCAR name, Ricky Rudd. And then of course you've got all the past recipients along the wall here. Okay, gonna head to the inside NASCAR part of the Hall of Fame, and before I do though, you know, how great is it that they actually have Cracker Barrel rocking chairs to sit in here? I just tell you, can't beat this place. All right, so this is a little display from Ford, and you got some Mustangs here. And the idea here is they're talking about the next generation cars that they're currently getting ready. Well, actually, they're already running a NASCAR. And the idea was to bring back a little bit more of the stock in the stock car. Because like I was saying earlier, some of the cars that they had for a while there, they just didn't even look like cars you'd see on the street. Now they're trying to get back to that. Although I still kind of like the older ones better, but I get it. Things gotta move on. So there's a clay model of a next generation car that they did to get Ford's approval, so they could, you know, have a little bit more, you know, they wanted to basically have more manufacturer design cues. So making the cars more similar to their production counterparts. And so this was a model of that. And then here is a finished version of the next generation Mustang. That's pretty cool. I can appreciate that. And of course, the Mustang is an American icon. Introduced at the New York World's Fair on April 17th, 1964. Now the Drifter, who I've mentioned before here on this channel, has a 1966 Mustang. Although people like to argue with him about that for some reason. I think he would know. It's his Mustang. Alright, over here is the actual pit challenge like activity. Pit challenge simulation. And so they actually set it up and you actually do like a, you know, you try to get do the tire change, jack the car up and put gas in. And just a little simulation here. Here's kind of another close-up version of that. And then it kind of keeps track of how fast you go. Since it's just me today, I'm gonna pass on that. But you know, fun experience for the family. Have a little thing over here on the tracks in NASCAR. Darlington, 75th anniversary of Darlington. So they have a little display here on Darlington Raceway. And then something on all the tracks, basically all the tracks that are currently used. And then you got a section here presented by Jostens. Man, I work at a school. I can't get away from Jostens. They're like everywhere. This is the honoring success part. So basically, at each track, you know, they're going to win money, but they're also going to get like a trophy. And they have unique trophies or gifts for each race that's won. So you've got the Sonoma Raceway, the Dover International Speedway, that's the Monster Mile, so that's the big trophy you get for that. Iowa Speedway, you get that old gas tank. Martinsville, you get a grandfather clock. Now that's something you don't see every day. Grandfather clock winning the race. The Coliseum, Clash at the Coliseum, that's a newer one, because that first started, I think it was 2022. Yeah, they haven't been doing that one very long. Talladega. And then you've got the Daytona, New Hampshire. You got get a lobster. Circuit of the Americas. It's kind of got the shape of the track there. Homestead, Miami. There's that trophy. And Las Vegas Motor Speedway, you get that. And the Auto Club 400, which that track is no longer operating. But that's the trophy that they used to get you from there. Pretty neat. And looks like you get rings too. Rings that are as unique as the tracks. Wow. Pretty neat. I think this is the actual cup. No, those are not scribbles. I think those are all the tracks that they race on. Yeah, so this is what you get if you win the championship. You win the cup. Okay, so I mentioned earlier how you can have a personalized experience, and so they take your picture when you walk in, and then they have different places where you can actually kind of interact with a lot of these different things. Let's take a look at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So this is one for the tracks. Oh yeah, look at them go. The Ontario Motor Speedway was actually a replica of this track and the dimensions there. It was originally thought of it was going to be, I guess, Indianapolis West. I don't know if they actually called it that, but I think that was the idea. Sadly, it did not make it. Then here you can look at the track highlights. Yeah, I'm still here. You can look at the stands. There's the pagoda. Yeah, so neat that they have these. Neat that they have these interactive things that you can do. Let's look at one more. Let's look at Martinsville. That one's on my bucket list of places to go.
Very tight corners. It's all about a really good handling car and a good short track driver. This place here is a very, very special place.
This one's also called the Paperclip. I think you can see why. And the fourth level here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame is about the history of NASCAR. Of course, kind of started off as back roads, and these were rum runners, you know, and then they made it legit into racing. And here's the Lloyd Shea. I think I'm saying that right. Silver Bullet. They used to actually, you know, you think about Daytona and Daytona Beach, Florida. Well, I mean, they used to actually drive on the beach and then decide to build a track. So yeah, a lot of history here. A lot of history in this final part. Too much to show you all of it. You'll just have to come and visit yourself. So they call level 4 Heritage Speedway. So right around the corner here, you got this hallway. Lots of memorabilia from the late 40s into the 50s, into the 60s. All these old trophies. Neat stuff. Really neat stuff. Love the old paper clippings too. Now we're getting into the 70s. Getting to the years that I would have been more familiar with it, even though I was just a mere lad. But like I said, my mom worked at Ontario Motor Speedway, so I was kind of exposed to a lot of this stuff early on in life. More old trophies, 75 and 76 here. 77 to 79. And some more trophies. That's kind of funny. I mean, I knew this, I'd just forgotten about it. It used to be the Winston Cup. It's just kind of funny. Different times where cigarettes were the sponsors of a major sporting outfit. Some old jumpsuits there. I'll take a look at some more of these down here. That one looks like a bowling outfit, actually. And here's another one of Richard Petty's cars. Boy, like I said earlier, that was my favorite. I actually had a toy racing car. Came with a truck too, so you could like carry the car around on the truck, on the hauler. Oh, that was cool. Love Richard Petty, the old king. Got a couple engine blocks over here. And you got the 1972 to 77 Dodge Charger. We saw one of those downstairs. So lots of things to look at here as we're nearing the end of our walk through the Hall of Fame. I get you a look inside there. This is Bill France Jr. Yeah, so here's you got the color scheme for Richard Petty's car as a Pontiac, and then on the other side here, you get what it would look like, the Grand Prix out on the road. The Pontiac Grand Prix. It's like TV commercial for a new car this side. On this side, it's all about racing. All right, what do we got over here? A new interactive coming soon. Well, that does me no good today. There's an old Union 76 sign, giant ball. Oh wait, you can go in there? Huh. Let's go check that out. Oh, I see. It's a spotter ball. It says step inside this original ball-shaped fiberglass spotter platform that once stood high above the Daytona International Speedway. And of course, here's a picture of it there. Of course, that one's at Talladega. This platform and others like it were installed at select tracks from 1969 to 2004. Track spotters and occasionally radio broadcasters use this perch for a bird's eye view of on-track competition. I had no idea about that. And here we have a Toyota Camry pace car. One side pace car, the other side race car. Oh, and a seat that you can sit in, you know, regular car seat, racing car seat. Oh, I want to try and sit in this thing. All right, it was kind of weird sitting in that thing without a helmet. It just didn't seem right. Okay, another new interactive coming soon. And then this is looking down on the simulators. You can get a day pass for those by paying $36 along with your admission instead of the regular $27. So that's the level we were just at. All right, I think we've just about seen everything. Here's another shot of that spotter's ball. Hidden inside a 76 ball. All right, let's see what's over here. All right, here's another example of the race car on one side, street car on this side. So you take a look at the street car. And we'll go back on the other side and look at the race car. And as you can see, back in the day, let's get my shadow of my head out of there. Back in the day, really looks pretty much one and the same, other than the additional decals on it. Got some NASCAR greats here, like Bill France Sr., Bill Tuthel, Raymond Parks, Red Vogt, and Red Byron. And not too much over here in the old shop. This is Red Vogt. I think you say Vogt. Is the G silent on that? I don't know. In Atlanta, it was modest, but it was the source of some of NASCAR's greatest cars. Modified engines for anyone who wanted to go fast and paid cash. Moonshiner, revenue agent, or race car driver. Team owner Raymond Parks hired him to build cars, which also built his reputation. That's pretty neat. I didn't know that. Well, folks, that was the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I sure hope you enjoyed that. I had a great time kind of looking through the history of NASCAR and enjoying the Hall of Fame and seeing a lot of the race cars on display. Great stop, especially if you are a NASCAR fan. And I will put a link to the website of the NASCAR Hall of Fame in the description of the video, so that way if you want more information you can find it. Here, located here in the beautiful city of downtown Charlotte. And I must say, this is one of the cleanest downtown areas I've ever been to, and least crowded. I mean, there's like not that many people here, and it's a Friday towards the end of June. But yeah, nice place. You can, maybe they have more of a nightlife. I mean, you might go over to that Brazilian steakhouse there, Estampa Gaucha. Maybe that's a popular hangout, as is this Buffalo Wild Wings over here, which is connected to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed it, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.